tripping on psychedelics may actually free the mind, a new study suggests. The new research, complete with the first modern brain scans of volunteers who got high on LSD, shed light on how the drugs affect the brain activity in order to produce their mind-blowing effects. The findings build on previous studies that looked at the effects of other psychedelics like magic mushrooms, whose psychoactive ingredient is a compound called psilocybin. For their new paper, researchers had 20 healthy volunteers visit a clinic on 2 different days. On one day, they got a 75 microgram LSD injection, considered a common oral dose from the nonprofit psychoactive drug database Erowid. On the second day, they got a placebo. Then, they used 3 different brain imaging techniques to measure and compare blood flow, brainwaves, and functional connections within and between brain networks in people on the placebo and under the influence of the drug. Their scans were illuminating. People high on LSD appeared to process their visual world in a fundamentally different way than people who were not using. This suggests that rather than simply getting their data on images from the visual cortex, the users were pulling data from multiple parts of their brains. In other words, regions of the brain that normally don't exchange information were chatting it up with one another, creating patterns of activity unseen in people who aren't using LSD. Here's an image from the new study showing activity in different areas of the brain for people either on the placebo or after being dosed with LSD. Both of the observations build on previous studies looking at magic mushrooms, which appear to encourage the brain to virtually sprout new links across previously disconnected areas, temporarily altering the brain's entire organizational framework. This is markedly different from the way our brains normally work. Typically, the activity in our noggins flows along specific information highways called neural networks. In those injected with psilocybin, cross-brain activity showed distinctly different patterns, as if freed from its normal, rigid framework. Here's a data visualization from a 2014 magic mushroom study, comparing the brain connections in the brain of a person on psilocybin and the brain of a person not given the drug. Can you guess which brain is the brain of the person on psilocybin? If you guessed B, then you're correct. The brain does not simply become a random system after the psilocybin injection, the authors of the magic mushroom study wrote, but instead retains some organizational features, albeit different from the normal state. These new connections are likely responsible for psychedelic users' descriptions of things like seeing sounds or hearing colors. The new patterns also provide some insight into what may influence some of the antidepressant and anti-anxiety effects some users have described during and after their trips. In 2012, Imperial College London neuroscientist David Nutt, one of the authors of the newest LSD study, found that in people drugged with psilocybin, brain chatter across traditional areas of the brain was muted, including in a region thought to play a role in maintaining our sense of self. In depressed people, Nutt believes the connections between brain circuits in this sense of self region have become overpowering. People who get into depressive thinking, their brains are overconnected, Nutt told Psychology Today. Negative thoughts and feelings of self-criticism become obsessive and overwhelming. Loosening these connections and creating new ones could provide intense relief for some people. And that's how LSD changes the way parts of the brain communicate. Thanks for watching, folks, and remember, please subscribe.
Anyway, thanks for sticking around all the way to the end. I love you. I love you. You're an amazing person. You're doing great. Keep it up. I'll see you soon.